Hi, my name is Liz Piccoli, and I'm the artistic director of a new space in Glenford, New York, just outside of Woodstock, called Queen of Rogues. And I am so pleased and happy to be bringing the beautiful artwork of Nathan Harding into the space for a solo exhibit. And I have some questions for him that I'm curious about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about your process. So first question is, what is your process? How do you come up with the ideas for these beautiful paintings?
Yes, so my work is channeled or guided. So I work with a guide, Alexander Daniels. So it's Claire Audio. So there's an audio message that comes in from the left side here. And then there's also Claire Visual, I call it, or clairvoyance, where there's a visual that comes in. So everything from the actual color of the paint to the brush stroke, to where to, paint on the canvas, it's all guided. So imagine if you were to have someone who was like a long lost brother who was an artist who's informing you what to do. So I never know where the painting's gonna go. I don't know what the name of the painting's gonna be. I don't even know what's gonna be the right side up for the canvas or anything. So for example, this one is called Hand of Life, and I didn't know, when I'm painting it, but then afterwards, if you look, it's kind of like a hand that's holding like two hands together. So the messaging that I get is that the painting is basically an expression of energy or a capturing of energy, and the divine or the creator or the universe or God, whatever you identify with, it likes to express itself in different ways. And so this is one way that it expresses itself through.
I am totally with you on all this, and I call that, I do this hand gesture sometimes in choreography, and I call it the bowl of abundance, or lotus of contemporary movement. So
the mudra.
The mudra, right, exactly. And even choreographically, sometimes I feel like my body is just moving to the music, and I'm not thinking about it, I'm just going with the flow. So,
yeah.
I think your work certainly speaks to me as a choreographer and dancer, because the movement and the color flow on the texture. So it's just so lovely.
Yeah.
So there's 17 pieces in this space. Do you have a favorite, or one that you're really connected to emotionally?
It's funny because after I do the painting and it's finished, of course I have my favorites and I look at it, but it's not something that I feel it's like my precious. It's more like something that has been expressed on the canvas. And what I enjoy the most, which I find the most fascinating, so this is just Nathan, me talking about the whole experience, is when it's shown in a space and I get to know the personality of the potential collector, or just do like a quick read on them, get to meet them, and then to see which painting they're drawn toward. It's like matchmaking. So I find that fascinating, just to see how people resonate with a specific theme or title, and they don't even know, they just they're drawn to it for whatever reason. So that for me is fascinating. The person who may have inspired me that I see is probably my grandfather, who was an architect. So underneath all of my the actual paint and the varnish and everything, there's actually a design. So the first process that I use is a carpenter's pencil and a piece of charcoal, and I basically do this on the canvas, and then the guidance that I get is when to stop. So then I stop, and then it's almost like a blueprint that I work off of, and then I start to work off of those lines. So I do have one piece that I did a long time ago. It's not on canvas, it's just on canvas paper, and it basically looks like a design that my grandfather may have had, because he was an architect, and it reminds me of a sailboat, because my granddad liked sailboats. So that's what I personally like because there's sentimental value to it. But
Totally understand. That's why I love big band music. Is because of my
oh,
grandfather. You know, it's like our ancestors. You know, they have these
yeah,
these connections. You know, and
Yeah.
especially if they've passed on. You know, they're with us in our art and how we express our art as artists completely.
yeah.
So next weekend we are planning a meditate and create workshop with Nathan, and I would love for you to just talk a little bit about what that is going to be like, and you know, if people would like to sign up for it, what they can expect.
So I have practiced meditation. I'm in my 40s and I've practiced it since my 20s. I've led meditations in Nepal. I've studied Tibetan Buddhism. I've done many meditation retreats as a participant. And so the intention of the upcoming workshop is basically for people to get in touch with their intuition. So meditation is a great way to connect with yourself. One of the things in terms of my process working with my guide is when you meditate often, at some point, you'll notice that there's a void between noise, sound, energy. There's this void, and that was the void that I basically focused on communicating with, and then there was a response to it. So that's not what we're going to be doing in the workshop 100%, but there's a lot of benefits to it. Yeah.
I can't wait.
But to be able to just at least get in touch with your intuition, and then what I'd like to do is to be able to take that intuitive impulse and then see what people can create on with paint on a canvas. So the gist of it is to basically have a basic understanding of meditation, get in touch with your intuition, and then see what we can create.
Well, I think that's so smart because a lot of times, you know, why people don't start art or start doing something creative is because of fear that it's not going to be good enough, or it's not going to, or I'm not, you know, I can't do that, you know, I'm not skilled yet, whatever it is. So basically what I'm hearing you saying is that we're going to clear that, you know, clear it, and then the mind is sort of like a clean slate, like a canvas, and then you know, we can be free to play and explore on it. So I think that's so exciting. I'm a big advocate for meditation. I meditate almost every night, and it's been a wonderful journey for me to explore. So I think the benefits of it are so wonderful and powerful for everyone, for anyone and everyone. So yeah, you're from New York City. So do you feel that the city influences your work, or what do you think influences you?
So what I have found is the way I relate to life, or like the guidance and stuff, is that there's a current in life, and if I can get into that current and to follow it. But it's almost like there's a river, and then at the end of the river or somewhere down the river, there's like a light that's pulling me or calling me. So what I'm constantly doing, like throughout my weeks and my months, is trying to follow what's calling me, what's speaking to me, and working on getting past my own resistance, my own fear, my own doubts, judgments. That's been like a huge thing in terms of inner guidance that I get, moving past judgment. Right now, the big theme in terms of the guidance that I get is love, being an expression of love and the power of love. And so I don't so some artists, it's like, and I used to do this when I was much younger, it's like you see maybe a film or a director, or you see art, and then that inspires you, and then you want to do that. That's not my process. That's not how I work. It's more like a craving for something, and I need to do what it takes to follow that craving, but I may not know exactly what the end result is going to be or where it's going to go. But my work is to trust and to go along that journey. So it's a different process than a lot of other creative people, I think.
So that's beautiful. Something completely internal and
Yeah.
emotional and clearing in a way. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what environment you're in. You're just you are the environment.
Yeah. And
Interesting. That's
I
interesting.
feel like I should be in New York now, but I mean, I don't know where it's going to take me. I mean,
Right.
this has been this impulse, I guess you could say, has led me. I worked at the William Morris Agency. I was going to be a talent agent in Beverly Hills. So it led me to leave that job, to move to Japan, to move to India, to live in Nepal, to live in Bali, actually to move to New York. So it served me, and it's taken me so many different places. I have my apartment in New York. I found my husband. All these things.
I found my husband in New York too. How about that? Yeah. Well,
All
the
these
love is
things.
the guide.
Yeah.
That's really profound. Well, Nathan, it's been so wonderful having you here, and we in Woodstock are the city of love, peace and
Yes.
happiness. We're very happy to exhibit your work here until January 5th.
Oh,
Yay.
thank you. I'm
Thank
happy
you
to
so
be
much.
here.
Thank you.
Thanks, and looking forward to
Come
getting to
see
meet you
us.
guys.
Come see us at 2440 Route 28 in Glenford.